ex-wife. She filed for divorce in 2024. Is it finalized, the divorce?
Not yet.
Do you want it to be finalized?
I'm ready to be over it, for it to be over.
First of all, she's married to this guy. She has kids with this guy. We all know when he first cheated and she was at a show and he brought out flowers and basically selfishly took her moment to like come out and try to look like the hero. Oh, he's so kind. He has flowers. Meanwhile, he's been cheating on you the whole entire relationship.
All right, I'll start from the top. All right, so this past Saturday, Cardi B claims Offset is having blogger friends troll her. She warns him to apologize or she will reveal everything. Cardi hosted a session on X Spaces expressing that she's consistently had trolls hitting her up or messaging people she's close to. Claims X Offset has blogger friends who are posting about her even though she would never do the same, she claims. Then goes further into threats that if she doesn't receive an apology by noon Saturday, this past Saturday, she will leak info. It's unclear if she got that apology or not.
You know what annoys me with this whole story?
What was that?
At one point, they were good.
Civil.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it rumored that he was the one cheating on her, which is why she left him? Allegedly.
This last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what initiated.
Right after Super Bowl 60, something unexpected happened. More than just a big loss on the field. Cardi B and Stefon Diggs, one of the NFL's most visible celebrity couples, suddenly sparked massive breakup rumors. Fans noticed they unfollowed each other on Instagram almost immediately after the Patriots' defeat, and neither has publicly confirmed their relationship status since. What makes this even more intense? Cardi B was in the spotlight that night, not cheering on the sidelines like usual, but performing and dancing during the halftime show, then exiting the stadium early. Meanwhile, Diggs posted a cryptic message on his Instagram days later and turned off comments, adding fuel to the speculation. The timing couldn't have been weirder. Expecting a baby together last year, going public with their romance in June 2025, must then facing silence and uncertainty in front of millions of fans just days after the league's biggest game. Did the pressure of the Super Bowl expose deeper cracks? Or was this relationship already on shaky ground before kickoff? Either way, mutual unfollows after a major event like this almost always get people talking and clicking. Welcome to a story where love, fame, and public image collide, and the fallout might be even bigger than the loss itself. Before the unfollows, before the rumors, before that icy good luck, there was a love story the internet couldn't stop watching. Cardi B and Stefon Diggs looked like the ultimate crossover couple. Music royalty meets NFL star. Cameras loved them. Blogs tracked them. Every game day appearance turned into a viral moment. Cardi wasn't just sitting quietly in a suite. She was loud and supportive, posting highlights, hyping him up like she was part of the roster. Fans started comparing their visibility to other high-profile celebrity sports couples. It felt like a brand in motion, and timing made it even bigger. Cardi had just come out of a very public, very messy chapter with Offset. After years of headlines, scandals, reconciliations, and emotional interviews, she appeared ready for something calmer, something secure. Diggs stepped in during that transition. Publicly, it looked like a fresh start. Yacht photos, coordinated appearances, soft launch captions that turned into hard confirmations. And when pregnancy news surfaced, fans doubled down on the fairy tale narrative. But here's the part about public love stories nobody talks about. The more perfect it looks online, the harder it crashes when something shifts. Because when you build romance in front of millions, even small changes feel massive. And by the time Super Bowl weekend arrived, subtle signs were already there. The energy wasn't the same, the smiles weren't as easy, and sometimes the loudest warning isn't what someone says, it's what they stop saying. It wasn't a scandal, it wasn't a leak, it wasn't even a headline. It was 2 words: good luck. That's all Cardi B said when a reporter asked her for a message to Stefon Diggs before the biggest game of his career. No smile, no playful energy, no "that's my man" moment. Just good luck. Then she walked away. Now, on the surface, that sounds normal. Supportive even, but context is everything. This was the same woman who had been loud at games all season. The same Cardi who posted highlight clips, celebrated touchdowns, and then hyped him publicly. So when she suddenly went cold, people noticed. And the internet? It doesn't just notice, it investigates. Clips were replayed, body language was analyzed. TikTok slowed it down frame by frame. Twitter threads popped up within minutes. People started asking the same question. Why did that feel so distant? You could almost feel the shift through the screen. It wasn't anger, it wasn't sadness, it felt like detachment. And that's what made it louder than any dramatic outburst ever could have been, because when someone goes from full public devotion to quiet neutrality right before a major moment, it usually means something already happened behind the scenes. The Super Bowl hadn't even started yet, but emotionally, something had already ended. And once kickoff, the optics only got more complicated. The game hadn't even reached halftime before social media started buzzing about something else entirely. It wasn't the score. It wasn't a big play. It was who was sitting where. Photos began circulating online showing that one of Stefon Diggs' children was in attendance, which, on its own, is completely normal. Of course, a player would want their child at the biggest game of their career, but the internet didn't focus on the child. It focused on the optics. Reports and fan commentary claimed that the child's mother was also present at the stadium. Again, nothing illegal. Nothing confirmed as drama. But when you mix high-stakes sports, celebrity relationships, and existing tension, perception becomes louder than facts. And perception online spreads fast. People began connecting timelines, asking questions about past relationships, speculating about overlapping situations. None of it confirmed, all of it amplified. The key word here isn't truth, it's narrative. Once a story forms in the public mind, it builds momentum on its own. Now imagine this scenario. You're Cardi B, you're at the Super Bowl, cameras everywhere, your relationship already being analyzed frame by frame, and suddenly the timeline fills with commentary about your man's past, right in the middle of the biggest event of his season. Even if nothing inappropriate happened, the optics alone were enough to create tension. And in celebrity culture, optics are everything. Because once people start questioning the stability of a relationship publicly, even neutral situations feel loaded. But that wasn't the only thing trending that night. By the fourth quarter, something else began circulating. And something messier. And this time, it didn't involve stadium seating. By the time the final whistle blew, the Patriots had lost. But the game wasn't the biggest story anymore. Within hours, blogs and fan pages began pushing a new claim that Stefon Diggs was allegedly seen with another woman after the game. Some posts went further, suggesting a hotel room situation. No confirmed footage, no verified source, just anonymous accounts and screenshots spreading like wildfire. Important detail, nothing was officially proven. But in the age of viral speculation, proof almost becomes optional. Once a rumor hits social media at the right moment, especially during a high-profile event, it doesn't need confirmation to explode. And the timing couldn't have been worse. Super Bowl loss, public tension already brewing, ARC relationship under a microscope. It was the perfect storm. The story snowballed fast, influencer pages reposted it, reaction videos popped up within minutes, comment sections turned into full-blown courtrooms. Some fans said it was cap, others said where there's smoke, there's fire. But here's what really mattered. The narrative shifted. It went from they seem distant to it's over. And that shift didn't come from a press statement. It came from speculation. In celebrity culture, perception doesn't wait for facts. It creates its own reality. And just when the rumor cycle peaked, something happened that made everything feel official, even without a single word spoken. They hit unfollow. In regular life, unfollowing someone might mean nothing. In celebrity life, it's a press release. Within hours of the Super Bowl ending, now fans noticed that Cardi B and Stefon Diggs were no longer following each other on Instagram. No statement, no breakup announcement, no joint message asking for privacy. Just silence, and that missing following button. And if you've watched celebrity relationships long enough, you already know what that usually signals. The internet reacted instantly. Blogs posted side-by-side screenshots. TikTok creators stitched clips of Cardi's good luck moment with the unfollow discovery. Twitter threads labeled it digital divorce. Then came the extra detail that pushed it even further. Cardi posted one word, done. No explanation, no tag, no context. But context wasn't needed. Fans connected the dots immediately. Whether that post was directly about Diggs or not, the timing made it land like confirmation. And once that word hit timelines, speculation turned into assumption. Relationship over. What made it heavier was the personal layer. They had recently welcomed a baby together. Public support had been loud, the love story had been marketed, reposted, celebrated. So when it collapsed, it felt dramatic. But here's the twist. As everyone focused on Cardi and Diggs, another name quietly stepped back into the spotlight. And this time, he didn't stay quiet at all. Offset was watching. Just when it felt like the drama had peaked, Offset entered the chat. At first, he played it cool when Cardi B and Stefon Diggs went public. Interviews suggested he was happy for her, neutral, mature, unbothered, but Super Bowl weekend changed the tone. After the loss, after the unfollow, after the rumors, Offset posted 2 simple words: I won. No context, no names, no explanation, and that's exactly why it exploded. The internet immediately interpreted it as a jab, a victory lap without stepping on the field. Memes flooded timelines within minutes. Screenshots circulated before the post could even disappear. Some people saw it as petty, others saw it as karma. Because here's what made it complicated. Cardi's history with Offset wasn't clean. Their marriage had public highs and messy lows, cheating allegations, reconciliations, emotional interviews. It played out in real time for years. So when Diggs' situation appeared to unravel quickly and publicly, people framed it like a scoreboard. Offset versus Diggs. Ex-husband versus new man. Who fumbled worse? The narrative became bigger than football. It turned into reputation warfare. Offset didn't need a touchdown. The timing alone made it feel like he'd scored. And while the internet debated who won, one question quietly lingered underneath the noise. Was Cardi stuck in the same cycle again? Because this wasn't just about shade, it was about patterns. Here's where the story gets uncomfortable. Because this isn't just about Cardi B, Stefon Diggs, or Offset individually. It's about patterns. Cardi's relationship with Offset was loud, passionate, and chaotic. Public cheating allegations, tearful live streams, public apologies, breakups, makeups, divorce filings, withdrawals. It was a cycle that played out in front of millions. And when she finally stepped away for good, she talked openly about wanting peace, safety, stability, calm. Those weren't random words, they were survival words. So when Diggs entered the picture, fans framed it as redemption. A fresh start, an athlete, structured life. A different industry, a clean slate. But here's what people forget. Changing the partner doesn't automatically change the pattern. The internet began pointing out Diggs' own headlines, past relationship drama, legal situations he has publicly denied, ongoing media noise around his personal life. Nothing confirmed to prove betrayal, but enough chatter to make fans uneasy. And when you combine public scrutiny with private tension, everything feels amplified. Cardi had just walked out of a long, messy chapter. So when this one showed cracks so quickly, people started asking the harder question. Is she unlucky in love? Or is fame just incompatible with privacy? Because when you're one of the most visible women in entertainment, every relationship becomes a spectacle. And spectacles end quietly. But what really intensified the backlash wasn't just the breakup. It was the timing. Because while Cardi prepared to get back on stage, Diggs was preparing for something very different. Right when the relationship rumors were exploding, another layer added pressure. Stefon Diggs was already facing legal headlines tied to allegations he has publicly denied. Court dates had been scheduled, media outlets were watching closely. Sports analysts were discussing not just performance, but reputation. Now pause for a second. Imagine losing the Super Bowl, then waking up to breakup speculation, then having legal coverage resurface at the same time. That's not just a bad week. That's a narrative avalanche. And for Cardi B, who had publicly defended Diggs when accusations first surfaced, the optics became complicated. And fans began revisiting clips where she spoke about wanting stability and emotional safety. Comment sections filled with "we warned her" energy. Fair or not, public opinion doesn't wait for full context. It stacks everything together. Game loss, relationship tension, legal headlines, Offset's shade, all collapsing into one weekend. And here's where it shifts again. While Diggs was dealing with questions about his future in the league, Cardi's calendar looked very different. Tour rehearsals, media appearances, performance bookings. The contrast was sharp. One storyline felt like damage control, the other felt like momentum. And that contrast is what changed the narrative from celebrity breakup to something bigger. Because in the middle of all this chaos, Cardi didn't retreat. She stepped forward. Here's what made everything feel cinematic. The Super Bowl wasn't just a loss. It was a stage collapse. Stefon Diggs had the world watching. The biggest audience of the year. The kind of moment athletes dream about. And the performance didn't match the spotlight. The Patriots fell short. The stat line wasn't explosive. No viral touchdown moment, no game-saving highlight replayed for years. In sports, one night doesn't define a career. But in pop culture, one night can define a narrative, because while the scoreboard told one story, social media told another. Clips of Cardi B appearing briefly during halftime started circulating. Fans noticed she left early. No post-game embrace, no tunnel footage, no celebratory energy. Then came reports that a high-budget after-party she had allegedly planned didn't fully materialize the way expected. Yet again, not officially confirmed in detail, but enough chatter to fuel speculation. The internet doesn't need full facts, it needs momentum. And momentum was building around one brutal theme. He lost the game, and possibly the girl, on the same night. It became meme material within hours. Now here's the key point. None of this proves betrayal. None of it confirms wrongdoing. But in celebrity culture, perception often outruns proof. And perception decided that night was symbolic. A missed opportunity on the field. A relationship unraveling off it. And once symbolism attaches itself to a moment like the Super Bowl, it sticks. But here's where the story flips. Because while Diggs faced questions about performance and headlines, Cardi faced something very different. A microphone. The game ended. But the real spectacle started online. Like within hours, timelines were flooded. Memes, edits, side-by-side comparisons, hashtags ranking who won and who lost. It wasn't just sports commentary anymore, it turned into relationship commentary. Cardi B trended, Stefon Diggs trended, Offset trended. 3 names, one chaotic scoreboard. Some posts joked that Diggs lost twice in one night. Others flipped it, saying Cardi dodged a bullet. Then the debate escalated into comparisons. Who treated her worse? Who fumbled harder? Who deserved what? It became less about facts and more about narrative dominance. And that's the danger of viral culture. When millions of strangers weigh in on a relationship, nuance disappears. Context disappears. Everything gets reduced to punchlines. Offset's I Won post added gasoline. Fan pages amplified it. AI-edited clips started circulating. More blurring satire with reality. Even parody accounts were pulling millions of views dissecting a situation no one actually had full access to. Meanwhile, real life kept moving. Diggs still had a career to manage, Cardi still had a tour to launch. But online, it felt like a public courtroom. No judge, no evidence rule, just vibes and viral takes. And here's the irony. While everyone argued about who took the bigger yell, Cardi didn't post a meltdown. She didn't go live crying. She didn't drop a rant. She stayed quiet. And sometimes silence is louder than any defense. Because what she did next wasn't about clapping back. It was about leveling up. 48 hours after the breakup rumors exploded, while timelines were still arguing and dissecting screenshots, Cardi B stepped onto a stage. Lights, crowd, mic in hand, no emotional live stream. No public breakdown, no messy subtweets, just performance. That's what changed the energy. Because while Stefon Diggs was fielding questions about his Super Bowl loss and facing renewed media attention over his legal situation, which he has denied, Cardi was doing what she's always done best, turning chaos into momentum. That contrast hit hard. One storyline felt reactive, the other felt intentional. And fans noticed. Instead of looking like someone heartbroken, she looked like someone focused. The Little Miss Drama Tour launch became symbolic. The name alone felt ironic given the timing. But rather than shrinking from the headlines, she leaned into the spotlight. That's been her pattern. Every time the internet thinks she's down, she resurfaces louder, more polished, more strategic. People can debate her taste in men all day, but nobody debates her resilience. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. In celebrity culture, women often get blamed for choosing wrong, while the men get labeled messy but move on quietly. Cardi didn't let herself become the cautionary tale this time, she became the headline without looking desperate for it. And as the Super Bowl weekend faded into meme history, one question remained. Who actually took the bigger loss? Because sometimes the scoreboard isn't about touchdowns, it's about who kept their footing when everything fell apart. Strip away the memes, forget the shade posts, ignore the scoreboard jokes. What's left? A Super Bowl loss? A relationship under pressure? A public woman once again being dissected in real time? Stefon Diggs will recover from a bad game. Athletes do. Careers aren't defined by one night. Our Offset will keep posting. The internet loves a petty subplot. But Cardi B? She kept moving. That's the difference. The Super Bowl may have ended with a loss on the field, but the real story wasn't football. It was perception. It was timing. It was how fast the internet can flip a fairy tale into a cautionary tale. And maybe that's the lesson hiding underneath all this drama. Public love looks glamorous. Public breakups look explosive. But public women carry the heaviest narrative weight. Did Diggs sneak someone into a hotel room? No verified proof. Did Cardi quietly decide she'd had enough? Possibly. Did Offset actually win? That depends on what you think winning means. Because if winning is surviving the storm without losing your identity, then the only person who truly walked away standing tall was the one who stepped back onto stage under bright lights instead of into comment sections. 1 Super Bowl, 2 breakups. And a reminder that sometimes the loudest comeback doesn't need a ring. It just needs a microphone. And when you step back and look at everything that unfolded, the scoreboard almost feels irrelevant. Yes, there was a Super Bowl loss. Yes, there were unfollows, rumors, and viral shade posts. Yes, the internet turned it into a full-blown reality show in real time. But beneath all the noise, this story was about something deeper: pressure. The pressure of public love, the pressure of reputation, the pressure of being watched by millions while trying to hold a relationship together. Cardi B didn't issue a dramatic statement. She didn't spiral publicly. She didn't beg for sympathy. She showed up, grabbed a mic, and kept moving. And whether you love her or criticize her choices, that kind of resilience is hard to ignore. As for Stefon Diggs and Offset, the internet may crown winners and losers, but real life isn't that simple. So now it's your turn. Was this just bad timing and viral exaggeration? Or was this a relationship that cracked under pressure? Drop your take in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and stay locked in. Because when headlines explode, we break down what's really going on behind them.